The Texas State Fair was in the background, and the Cotton Bowl was the battlefield. But no, it wasn't the Longhorns and the Sooners that night. It was the 1971 version of America's team against Fran Tarkenton and a group of athletes not quite resembling a big blue wrecking crew. Dallas was simply awesome. Head coach Tom Landry was thriving in a two-quarterback system, as starter Roger Staubach hadn't yet fully pushed relief pitcher Craig Morton into the second string. In the backfield, the triumvirate of Calvin Hill, Walt Garrison, and Dan Reeves seemed like all a team would ever need. On the other side of the coin were the Giants. Their running attack consisted of a whopping total of 7 backs. Unfortunately, none proved worthy of carrying the ball even 100 times in 1971. But sit tight, Giant fans, because tonight we witnessed the national television debut of New York's #1 draft pick, the one and only Rocky Thompson, the most beloved bust in Giants history.
In 1971, the world was spinning faster than it ever had before. Old customs met new styles in a whirlwind of innovation that mesmerized anyone who tried to figure it out. Radically new fads and fashions came and went with the wind. But in Texas, you could still count on the State Fair to ring in the autumn and to signal the start of another winning season for the Dallas Cowboys. But on a glorious Monday night in October, danger lurked for the home team and its coach, Tom Landry. Swooping into town for the fair and some football were the New York Giants, who featured the league's most devious quarterback and a promising array of young talent. At the head of the new roster stood the phenomenon known as Rocky Thompson, a Bermudian cliff diver turned NFL first-round pick. Thompson used to practice holding onto the ball by diving into the waves of the North Atlantic. It remained to be seen how he fared against human waves. Thompson burning past defenders only to cough up the ball to them became a horrifyingly common sight in New York. And Rocky soon flickered into nothing but the most colorful of the Giants' first-round duds of the 70s. Thompson's popularity in the Big Apple may have fizzled with his fumbles, but on this night, he was a true trendsetter. The early action decayed into a veritable Follies festival. Then Dallas got more creative with its bloopers. Despite Lance Alworth's daffy display, Roger Staubach proved that you aren't always your own worst enemy. As number 89, Mike Ditka, fumed over the soon-to-be obsolete placement of the goalpost, the rest of the Cowboy offense suddenly got serious. The dream combination of Staubach and Bob Hayes, number 22, got Dallas on the go. And running back Calvin Hill, number 35, kept them rolling. This was how 5-time division champions were supposed to play, as Jolly Roger dished out the ball. And veterans like tight end Billy Truax, number 87, gobbled up the yardage. The young veteran Hill, just in his 3rd season out of Yale, had already become the linchpin of Dallas's buried attack, and he carried the Cowboys into field goal range. The style and form of Mike Clark, number 83, appear awkward and odd 16 years later. But at the time, he was the Cowboys' all-time leading kicker, and his accurate toe put Dallas ahead 6-3. New York, however, had a dead-eye performer of its own. Indeed, Francis Asbury Tarkenton, the NFL's all-time leader in attempts, completions, and yardage, was in his prime in his 11th season. Unfortunately, not many of his teammates were destined to join Fran in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. After dropping one Tarkenton bomb, number 84, Rich Houston, inexplicably ran out of bounds with another. But he did move the Giants into field goal range. Kicker Pete Gogolak had introduced the soccer-style kick to American football as a student at Cornell. And through the game's first 20 minutes, Gogo matched his traditionalist counterpart Clark with 2 3-pointers of his own. But the heavily favored Cowboys were now on a roll and threatened to break this tie game wide open. Calvin Hill got Big D close and looked to punch it over. The ball was ruled dead before Hill lost it, but it did set up a 3rd and goal situation. Number 89, Fred Dreyer, was the charismatic leader of the Giants' defense. But when the Californian announced he'd rather surf than practice, well, respect for New York's defenders didn't come pouring in. Dallas fans anticipated the score. But number 67, linebacker Ron Hornsby, rallied for New York and dealt Hill strike 3 on his 3rd attempt to score. Led by 10-year defensive back Cornell Green, number 34, the Dallas defense was no less unyielding. Rookie punter Tom Blanchard sent the ball back Dallas's way and into the waiting arms of Cliff Harris, number 43. Harris would earn 6 Pro Bowl appearances as one of the NFL's toughest safeties. But in his 2nd year, he doubled as a hard-nosed kick returner, specializing in motivational runbacks. Harris had the Cowboys turned on again, and only a sensational open field tackle by number 43, Spider Lockhart, kept them out of the end zone. But the Spider had only stalled the Cowboys, not them, and Truax's late score gave Dallas a 13-6 lead at intermission. Roger Staubach's hot hand notwithstanding, Tom Landry remained firmly committed to a 2-quarterback system. And quicker than you could say anchors away, Craig Morton was calling the signals for Big D. Morton's future coach, Dan Reeves, appeared headed for 6, but the cerebral Cowboy coughed it up, and Spider Lockhart got the Giants back in business. After a long half of big blue blunders, Fran looked to the sure hands of number 38, Bob Tucker. Tucker's 59 catches led the NFC in 1971, an honor earned 3 years before by ex-49er Clifton McNeil, number 18. Then Fran looked to his backfield, where he found Bobby Duhan, number 28. With Tucker Fredrickson and Ron Johnson saddled with injuries, the 25-year-old Duhan was New York's workhorse in 1971. But around the goal, Fran turned to an old horse, Joe Morrison. But Cowboy veteran Leroy Jordan, number 55, separated old number 40 from the ball. Momentum again favored Dallas, who turned immediately to the dependable Hill to move the ball. Spider Lockhart put all of his 175 pounds into Hill, knocking him out of bounds and out of the game. In fact, Calvin Hill would miss the next 6 games as a result of the Spider's hit. But the loss hardly left Dallas without a leg to stand on. Enter Dwayne Thomas, number 33. Thomas not only filled in for Hill for the remainder of the game, he took his place for the remainder of the season and led Dallas with 793 yards rushing. A national TV audience was getting a good look at a future Super Bowl hero. While New York scrambled to adjust to Thomas, they forgot all about Craig Morton. Morton, like anybody else who'd ever seen Bob Hayes, knew that he could beat any single coverage in the league. And with the Giants' safeties pushing up to contain Thomas, rookie cornerback Pete Athos, number 45, didn't stand a chance. After the Hayes bomb, however, it was back to run, run, run. Thomas and Rees ate up huge chunks of both yardage and time. But Big D got just a little too hungry. The Spider was everywhere. Lockhart was born and raised in Dallas, and he gave his hometown crowd a night of simply spectacular football. In the meantime, he set up his team for a fourth-quarter run. On the celebrated arm of Tarkenton and the anonymous legs of Duhan, New York finally found small holes in the Dallas defense. Then McNeil found a huge one, and the smooth veteran from Grambling poured through as New York closed to within 7. Morton looked to Dallas's new hero to run out the clock. But suddenly it tolled midnight for Cinderella Thomas, and the Giants had the ball in just enough time for a miracle. And if anyone could make a miracle happen, Fran the Scram was the man. But when it comes to miracles, let's just say Moses was lucky he wasn't fleeing from the Dallas Cowboys at the Red Sea. Dallas won 20-13 and kept on winning right through Super Bowl VI. Where the 4-10 Giants got to watch Staubach, Thomas, and the rest of the 1971 Cowboys win their first world championship.